You guys want to introduce yourselves?
I am Justin Benson. I'm one of the filmmakers of The Endless.
I'm Aaron Moorhead. I'm one of the other filmmakers of The Endless.
I'm Jimmy LaValle. I did the score to The Endless, and I also make music under the album Leaf.
We're going to talk about music that inspires us as artists and people, and it's going to be great, so stick around and check it out. I feel like the score in a film is often taken a back seat to the general public in terms of like appreciation. People always talk about cinematography, directing, you know, the acting, but the score is the most important part for most films to give it the level of intensity as well as relatability, because music is it can be so subtle and it can evoke emotions that are just so, you know, behind, like they're not in the forefront. Drive, I think, was one of the first scores, at least for this generation, that I think people realized, oh, the score is like really like a player in it.
I think it's also had like standout needle drop, like it was the chromatics tracks and the Love Fox, all of the like actual songs that are. Was it
Electric World? Who did Real Hero?
Real Hero, yeah.
Electric Youth by College, and this track put College and Kavinsky
right?
on the map. Like they were making music well before this, but as soon as this dropped, College and Kavinsky were like, you know, everyone was talking about them. Like, I love synth pop. And it's just like, oh, do you, or do you just watch Drive?
Yeah, so, but that's the truth. Like that phenomenon happened like from this. Yeah, and that was like maybe. I mean, I don't know of many soundtracks that are like sought after. Like you get it. Like, I mean, like you can like talk about Blade Runner or whatever. Like that's like a soundtrack that like you know that you get. But there's obviously there's others sprinkled through. But I think that kind of was like a resurgence of getting a soundtrack. You know?
Just because I know that the Too Many Records viewers love a nice colored record. This is a limited edition.
Yeah. Oh, look at this thing.
Whoa! What? Yeah, this is
Can
beautiful.
I have that, please?
It's not mine. This is his. So, yes, it's yours. Take it. Yeah, this is cool. I know that Drive had a lot of variations. They did like 8 or 9 different pressings of it with different colors. This is probably the coolest. I'm assuming. How can you do better than this?
So, do you know about that service, the Edit?
The Edit.
The Edit vinyl.
No.
They send you a text message daily with a record recommendation.
No.
I got that from that service.
Wow.
Yesterday they sent me Boys to Men.
The 2?
Yeah.
It just got a repress, that's why, yeah. This is the opposite of Boys to Men. This is...
that was a brilliant liaison. You are very good at this show.
You're waiting. You're like, all right.
This is Max Richter from Sleep, and you know more about this than I do. He's a brilliant composer. Famously is known now for, I think, The Leftovers is probably what made him, like, the famous...
I think I've listened to Max Richter for probably, 20, 30 hours in the last few months.
He also kind of got a late start to the composing world in a way, because also is this record Memory House, which is basically what was taken and turned into The Leftovers. Most of The Leftovers, the main theme for Leftovers.
I didn't know
the
that.
Memory House record, yeah. And then he has a record, The Blue Notebooks, which I actually saw him do live. I played with him. We did.
That's awesome.
He did that record front to back.
But you were awake for it.
I was awake.
Unlike
this, yeah. I haven't experienced this live, but yeah, this record he performs in rooms full of beds, of cots, and you buy a ticket and you basically sleep. And it's this is obviously the condensed version because you can't fit 8 hours of music on a double LP, but
not yet.
You can fit 20, 40, 68. You can fit, yeah, exactly. But so anyhow, so this is like the condensed kind of shortened version, and I don't think I've actually listened. I mean, I haven't listened to the 8-hour version. It's just a great record. It's beautiful. It's very beautiful.
I'm sure
it's not as like, if you think about Sleep, it's not like just like
right.
You know, it's really a beautiful like record.
I'm sure the live experience is really interesting, and I would love to do it, but I can't imagine spending like $60 on a cot to sleep while someone performs a beautiful piece of music. Like, I don't think I'd fall asleep. I think
I don't know. Maybe it's kind of like a sound bath kind of idea.
Okay.
Like amplified sound bath, maybe.
Yeah. You also mentioned Aphex Twin. We were talking about the edit.
This record particularly because it's his ambient work. And
selected ambient works.
Right. I first discovered Aphex Twin in '94, and it just totally changed my there's so much music actually in 1994 that I discovered that just basically like I went from a middle school kid into Pearl Jam, Stone Temple Pilots.
Pearl Jam's like one of my I talk about it on almost every episode. I find a reason to throw Pearl Jam.
I never went past 10. I was only like
really
my freshman year of high school. I just started like unwrapping and discovering all of this really, you know, just like underground or indie or electronic music. And so Aphex Twin's records are obviously very electronic and they're very cool, but this one really kind of just like sealed the deal for me for him because it's kind of like, it's very moody, it's very emotional, the melodies are beautiful, it's very like, it's kind of like an early inspiration for music that I still make, you know.
I feel like some consider this to be in the top 5 ambient records ever.
For sure.
Like like even people that are just like not into modern music as much as like the classic ambient stuff, like this holds its own against the best of the best, against the Jean-Michel Jarres, the Enos.
Right.
And it's crazy to think that from this album to like Drugs, the sound differential.
I mean, this record, that, and also like even at the same time he was doing like the Richard D. James album, self-titled record, that's his name, but and I Care Because You Do. Come to Daddy didn't come out too long after this. Well, I mean, this is collected, but it was released like not too long after this. And the Window Licker, I mean, everything that he was doing was so opposite.
Yeah.
And it was like the more sporadic, like spastic, not drum and bass, but like just kind of like tech. I don't even. I mean, it's he
makes his own sound,
right? I can't even like differentiate like what is drum and bass, what is techno, what is house, what is this, what is all that stuff. It all sounds the same to me. I'm not a big fan of it, but
I don't think I am. Yeah.
But I mean, it's like when things are like, but everybody tries to like break it down. And there's things that I like, obviously, but like what he was doing was just like blowing my mind. And then also at the same time, he still had like something like this. But Ambient, the collection, Volume 1, is a little more like, kind of like, just kind of subtle. I want to say it's techno, but again, I'm not sure. Like,
it's probably
the right thing. But it's
there is ambient techno. I mean, that's like a thing that. I guess.
And it's just very like, you know, it's like very just like even and not into like all the crazy shit that he kind of went into doing.
Which he's a master of, whatever that may be.
Yeah, but obviously he's also, he's just like a prolific musician. You could like make something like that and at the same time being, creating.
Were you playing the same? No, you played the year after. You just played the festival in Texas, right? Day for Night.
Yeah.
Because he played the year before,
exactly.
which I believe was crazy because he hasn't played in the U.S. for like a long time before that.
Yeah.
How was that festival, if you don't mind my asking?
The festival was awesome. I'm such not a fan of festivals because it's like, to me, the same like boring, popular bands in each different one, and it's like, sure that is the mainstream. That's what everybody likes. Sure, like album is never going to be invited to play those things. It was just awesome. Like the curation was like very well thought out. It was
art heavy too, right? They had like installations that were supposed to be really
were amazing. I mean, Tom York played. Tim Hecker played.
Love Tim Hecker.
Yeah, I mean, Tim Hecker is literally just in like the most beautiful way for 45 minutes, so you don't even know what the fuck just happened. You're just like, whoa,
that was his live show, you mean?
Yeah.
Interesting. Because
just
Love
like
Streams was kind of melodic.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like it hits the moments, but I mean, it gets into like, it's very loud. It's noise based. You know? In Vogue played right after us. It was awesome.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't even know they were on the lineup. That's crazy.
They're from Houston. Solange played, which is like, that record is one of my favorite records.
Yeah.
Nine Inch Nails played too, which I was kind of excited to see, and kind of disappointed. I think,
really?
To be honest, like, am not a fan of probably like 90% of Nine Inch Nails. The things I'm into like is like the later stuff that he's done, like Hesitation Marks, like this kind of the stuff that like gets a little bit like cooler. And also with the addition of Atticus Ross now, like being an actual member, like that dude's got chops. Like he's like making good music.
I actually got to see him and Atticus Ross talk about Growth of Dragon Tattoo once.
Nice.
And and they did something similar to what you did with the Endless, where I think you started writing when you got the script. I think like we got a couple of tracks.
Yeah.
And they did the same thing. They just kind of composed it with no image in mind, and then it got trimmed down from there. And sometimes it was just like, this is an idea, and it stuck and ended up part of the score. But yeah, it's kind of cool that you guys had that in common.
I prefer to kind of create like a body of a music idea for the film beforehand, because I feel like, and I never really thought that like that's how it seems to, like a lot of people work that way.
But they do or they don't?
That they do.
Oh,
I
thought they didn't.
I feel like it maybe goes both ways. I don't know. Like for instance, like Johansson for Arrival. I remember reading that he, like as they were filming, he was writing.
Oh,
so then,
wow.
and then it kind of like gets fine tuned, you know, after the fact.
And
Or
that
at
score's
least,
still-
but at least you can like use the temp, like
Yeah.
your idea, like my own idea, as your temp track. And
Yeah.
I feel like it's works more so in that kind of way.
Yeah, the Arrival scores,
Maybe not everybody
weirdly, that not a lot of people talk about it. They're mostly into
Of course.
Sicario score, which I love too. I mean, that changed Thrillers forever. But but the Arrival score, I think we were even talking about it. We didn't do it so much in the Endless, but we were talking about this idea where he just took one note and made it weird.
Yeah.
And that was the whole score, is just this, you know,
Right.
made it sound like an alien. And
Yeah.
that was pretty spectacular.
This guy, Brian Eno, forefather of ambient music.
Yes.
This is not his ambient stuff, though, per se.
Well, yeah, it's not his straight ambient stuff, but the
Right.
ambient pieces on those records I think are very influential pieces for me, at least. Like this record, Before and After Science, was the first record that I actually heard from Brian Eno. There's two things that are amazing about Brian Eno. Obviously, he's Brian Eno. The second is that Phil Collins played drums on all of his records.
I heard that actually in the past year, and it blew my mind.
Yeah. Phil Collins, I'm a
cool.
huge fan of Phil Collins.
I mean, who's not?
I love that.
I mean,
Yeah.
right?
Who's Phil Collins? Which Beatle is Phil Collins?
Yeah.
He's the one after Pete Best.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's break into these. Let's change
Right.
the genre a bit. Should we talk about these together or separate? I mean, they do have relation.
Yeah, I mean they're both German. So that was actually the first Kraftwerk record that I ever heard. That was my introduction
Computer.
to them.
Yeah.
And I actually did a cover of Computer Love on my second EP in Off White Room. It's like the secret track. You have to listen. You have to sit through 45 minutes of birds chirping, and then CDs. The magic of CDs.
Yeah, I was about to say, because I
Yeah.
think I have Off White Room on a 7-inch,
10-inch.
10-inch,
Right.
and there's no way that that's on there, because I've listened. All right, I got to get the CD now.
Yeah.
I got to buy a CD
Yeah.
player. What is this,
I don't think you can
1998?
find that CD.
Would you say Tour de France is like the thing that they're known for the most?
Besides that record, everything else is just songs to me. Like I don't really know anything else as like this is their.
That's fair, because this
is
record
that
means something to you.
Right.
It has, yeah.
And everything else is just kind of like, oh, there's like, you know, Trans Europe Express. There's like this song, like Radioactivity. Like you hear the songs and it's like, there's that song, but I don't associate it with like, it's from this record. That
Sure.
record, I feel like that record is almost like a theme. Like the whole thing, like the whole record is like, plus it's been sampled so much too.
Yes.
Um,
It's ripe for sampling. Just the
yeah.
kind of music they make, it's like,
yeah,
Can has so many albums.
so many.
And this is
Favorite
probably...
drummer ever
You think so?
for me. Yeah.
Wow, okay. I mean, I can't argue.
Phil Collins is pretty sick too.
Yeah, I thought we
already
were all
touched
Phil
on it, but
Collins
yeah.
trained together, and
Yeah.
now all of a sudden we're bringing up the
yeah.
Can guy. This is a great record. I mean, this is Krautrock. For those who don't know what Krautrock is,
Right.
I don't even know how to explain Krautrock. If you had like
I mean,
experimental,
it's kind of just like a racist like way of explaining music in a way because it's just referring to like German prog rock,
right?
you know. So it's kind of funny in that sense, you know. But
And
like,
then it became like for even non-German bands who had that sound,
right, yeah,
they were
but
like,
they
yeah, we
like
play
were more,
Krautrock,
yeah,
which is
yeah,
interesting.
totally.
Yeah, and that brings us to Blade Runner. I did not see the new Blade Runner.
I did.
Do we all like it? Are
I
we
did.
all
I
happy?
love it. Yeah, that was great.
I didn't get to see it.
Okay.
We were traveling a lot internationally at the
Yeah.
time, and
Kind of ties in with Johann because Johann had started the score and then Hans Zimmer took over.
Oh yeah, completely forgot about that. Yeah, and actually, I think so Blade Runner 2049 score channels the Vangelis score quite a bit.
Yeah.
Which was something
well
we
it
were even
should.
talking about when we were
Yeah,
when
you
we were
can't
seeing the
not,
trailer.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, there was the worry that they would feel the need to go traditional in order to make more money and not have a weird score, you know, something
Yeah.
like that. And but they stuck with it.
What's actually funny, this is yours, you brought this.
Yes.
I have this exact same one, and I bought it thinking it was the Vangelis score, and it's not.
Oh, is it just like
This is the new American Orchestra performing the score.
Oh yeah.
And I bought it, and I brought it home, I was like, nice, I got it for a really good deal. And I put it on, and I was like, this doesn't sound right.
Yeah.
So, that's not the Vangelis score I
Right,
know.
yeah.
Because I have this exact same one. I thought it was from my room.
Yeah.
I think the Vangelis score just got a repress, but I think it was out of print for a little while. It was kind of hard to
Yeah.
find.
Yeah. Totally.
This is great, though. I mean,
Yeah.
the new American Orchestra did a great job.
Right.
I wouldn't say they are Vangelis per se, but yeah, I mean, doing any interpretation of the score is pretty ballsy, and I think they did a great job with it.
Sure. Well, I was gonna mention Hans Zimmer,
Please.
which I had never really been a big fan of Hans Zimmer, and I feel like everything he's been doing lately.
Coachella.
Well, let's not talk about that. But everything he's been doing lately has been really good. And I feel like
Starting with what?
like film. I don't know. Starting with what?
Can
But
I throw
feel
out
like
starting with Interstellar?
Interstellar was great.
I mean, I've seen a lot of really
Yeah.
great scores.
The Dark Knight's got a great score.
Yeah, I was about to say
Yeah.
The Dark
Yeah,
Knight was
Dark
the first thing
Knight.
that,
Dark Knight's
like,
great.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa.
The Dark Knight, but that was like, I feel like there was a shift in film scoring, and it's now getting way more competitive, and people are making way cooler scores.
I'd agree.
I feel like that.
Yeah.
It's like when Kendrick dropped his album, he's like, this is what it's going to be now, rap game. And I was like, oh, I guess we got to stop making garbage.
Are you saying that Hans Zimmer is the Kendrick Lamar of?
I didn't say it, but I mean, you
You
can
did,
you can
though.
take that from what
You
I was
did.
saying. You
All
can
right,
you can extrapolate that.
Hans Zimmer is sitting in his studio watching this video, and he's just yes, yes.
Stick around. There's still more parts of this fantastic video, and right now, check out a sneak peek of the score of The Endless.